trips are part of the school experience for students of every age. There's much to learn, for example, at a farm, food pantry, or TV station. But as Michael Schlesinger shows us, when the itinerary includes stops in Rome, Florence, and Venice, well, that qualifies as a field trip of a lifetime.
A recent field trip by a group of Wauwatosa East High Schoolers to Italy hit so many of the right notes. For sure, it'll be one to cherish for years to come. Nearly 110 orchestra students performed live at 3 different venues in this particular country.
Absolutely unique and one of a kind, and it was a great experience. I loved it.
Wonderful, super diverse. You know, we got to go to all of these different cities, some of them very large. We got to visit Rome and Venice, but we also visited smaller towns, places like Lucca and Assisi, where not a lot of people live.
The 15-minute string concert inside Vatican City was the most memorable, I'm told, for so many of the players.
You've got all these tourists that are kind of forming a circle around you, and it kind of hits you at one point that no longer are you a tourist, but you are like part of the attraction. You're part of their vacation.
Junior Julian Courtwright plays the cello and has done so since the 4th grade. He'd never envisioned he'd end up outside of St. Peter's Basilica.
It is quite an experience to see such a large collection of culture from, you know, a religion that spans globally, and being right at the hearth of where it is.
Senior Violet Pena also plays the cello. She, like Julian, had to use rentals since their instruments were too big to take on the plane.
The cello that I picked when we got there was really finicky, so like tuning it was a real struggle, but it all worked out in the end. It was just sort of like a learning curve, but everybody was really good about like helping people, and like we all worked together to make sure it sounded as good as it did here.
You might say the man who helped bring it all together is the school's conductor, Michael Hayden. He says they couldn't have been in a better spot when it comes to music appreciation.
It really is such a major hub of classical music that it serves as a great place for us to tour, to not only learn about worldly cultures, but also to perform authentically for locals. And there are a multitude of performance venues that really lend well to that.
Michael also tells me performing where the Pope resides makes it even more special.
Vivaldi's 4 Seasons, the Autumn Movement, we also played some music from Elgar, and then they were really specific that they wanted to end with the Alleluia by Mozart. And that's when the sun was setting, there was a few birds passing along, and it was pretty magical. It's hard to conduct outside, but the really unique thing about conducting and making music in places that have walls that are surrounding you, it actually is relatively easy to hear. And I think the students would echo that it was easier for them as musicians than maybe they had thought about beforehand.
Of course, there was more to this trip than just music. Violinist Olive Madden explains.
The little moments with my friends, like roaming through cities and like getting lost or eating new foods and shopping, it was just so fun. And I've never experienced anything like that. And it is definitely about becoming more independent and just doing things on your own.
The orchestra typically travels every 2 years, alternating between domestic and international destinations. Most recently, they traveled to LA in 2022 and the Czech Republic in October of 2019.
We're there to play. And so I like to have at least 2 performances, ideally 3. When it's possible, I like to partner with a local school so that our students can perform and then just kind of mingle with teenagers from around the world or in different parts of the country. And when possible, I also like to see live music.
Wonderful to play in these amazing places, and I just am so grateful for the opportunities that we have at this school.